Lex has agreed to come and kind of share with you guys. Everybody remember this? On January 2nd, this was the headline. A woman was assaulted near Apex Elementary School, right in the middle of the day, 4 o'clock-ish, something like that. And so much so that I'm going to let her tell the story, but she was able to fight this dude off in such a way that he really took off running. They've got these pictures, and thankfully, hopefully things are still on the path to kind of catching this asshole. But anyway, I'm really, really thankful. She's had such tremendous bravery. I know you can imagine how difficult these kind of things can be to the emotions. But anyway, I'm going to let her share her story, and then kind of we can kind of learn some lessons from this. Yes?
I was just going to ask, so are you the girl from the article then?
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So before I tell you all about the worst day of my life, I'm going to fill you on some other details about me. So my name is Lex. I've lived in Apex almost my entire life. I got my bachelor's degree in psychology at Appalachian State. Been living at home, saving money for graduate school, and I'll be going to graduate school in August. So that's kind of my life. And so to let you know, at App State I took self-defense as my PE credit. So I felt like I had, a pretty good idea of self-defense. I'm also training for a marathon, and I've done 2 half marathons, so I'm a runner. I like to go out and run. So on New Year's Day, I went for a 9-mile run, and I go running here all the time. I don't know if anyone here is from Apex or lives in Apex, but similar to Cary, very safe. Apex was voted the #1 place to raise a family in 2009, so it's a pretty safe area. So I went out for my 9-mile run. The run went great. It was sunny, tons of people out. It was New Year's Day, so nobody was working. Tons of families, lots of people out. So I'm finishing my run, and I'm walking about a 1/4 mile back to my car, which is parked at Kelly Road Park. And I'm listening to music, I'm just cooling down, walking back, so I have my headphones in. And I'm walking directly in front of the elementary school, which is next to a busy road, which is All Chapel Road. And I notice someone is walking too closely behind me, and I'm like, this is weird. So it's a half second, you just look over your shoulder, and I'm like, that's weird. But I'm thinking, it's the middle of the day, like, what's this person gonna do? It's the middle of the day, there's tons of people walking by, so I'm like, okay, well, that's a little weird, I'll walk faster. So I'm walking faster, and I kind of cut the corner on the sidewalk, and I'll just build some space. And so then I'm thinking, I don't really like this person behind me at all, so I kind of stop off into the side of the grass, I walk over, and I pretend to look at my phone to make, because I don't want to seem rude like I'm watching this person. So I pretend to look at my phone, and I'm thinking, it's been too long, he hasn't passed me yet. So I look up, and he's standing right there, right in front of me. The next thing I know, I'm on the ground, so I think he had shoved both my shoulders very quickly, and I had my phone in my hand, so there was no time to kind of break any of that. So I'm on the ground. He gets on top of me, I'm screaming, what the fuck are you doing? Like, my brain cannot even catch up with what's happening, because it's like, I'm walking back to my car, it's the middle of the day, there's people out, like, who does this? And in the moment right before he shoves me to the ground, I'm like, is he gonna ask me something? Like, I'm still not in the mode of this person's gonna attack me, like, this stuff doesn't happen here. So I'm on the ground, he's on top of me, he's like trying to put his hand on my mouth, and the whole time I'm screaming, like, what the fuck are you doing? And it's, any kind of fight you're in is going to be really sloppy, and I really appreciate the way that he shows with the arm belt and everything. It's not going to be neat and clean, you're not going to do things correctly, and even though I know how to fight, I didn't fight at all, I had no idea what was going on, I'm just trying to catch up, and I'm like, what is this person going to accomplish in the middle of the day? Like, are you trying to rape me, are you trying to kill me? Like, I have no idea what's going on. And so I'm just kind of trying to keep up with everything, kind of waving my arms around, he's on top of me. There's a lot of groping involved, and then finally he gets up and just starts to sort of jog away, like, oh, okay, I did what I wanted to do, I'm done. And my delayed on switch goes on, it goes on, and I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So I get up off the ground, and I start chasing him. And I'm screaming at him, like, you get fucking back here, I'm gonna kill you, like, let's go. And so I'm chasing him. Now, mind you, I've been on the ground fighting, and I just ran 9 miles, so I'm kind of tired, and so he has a little bit of an edge, and so he starts running towards the school, the elementary school. And he jumps the fence. Now, I would have kept chasing him had he not jumped the fence. And that's the reason why we have these photos here, is he was on the school property. So had I not chased him, we may not even have any photos. So I'm not advocating that you chase your attacker, but I just honestly didn't even think about it. I got up and I was like, I'm going to kill you. And had there not been a fence, I would attack tackled him, like, let's go to the ground, let's go. I want a rematch. So that's how I felt. And so it's definitely a delayed on switch. And so he jumps the fence, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm not gonna jump the fence and like put myself in a worse situation. So I run back to where I was originally attacked, and my phone and my headphones are all on the ground. And I grab my phone, and I see these two women walking up, and like people were walking around this whole time. Cars are driving by the whole time this interaction's going on. Maybe the fight was 30, 45 seconds. It's quick. So I grab my phone and immediately call the cops. This is not one of those, well, let me, this is so crazy, let me just sit in my car. I'm like, no, this is not okay. So I call the cops. They're there within 4 minutes. They bring a search dog. They have the dog out there. They're locking down the scene, grabbing witnesses. They can't find him. But they take my statement, they do all of that stuff. So that's kind of how the whole interaction happened. So now what I kind of want to talk about are some critical moments where we could have changed some things. So I went home, and I'm thinking, I don't even want to really think about the attack, but over and over again it's playing in my head. And I can't stop it. It keeps playing over and over again. I keep thinking, there's a million and different things that I could have done differently. The very first thing that I should have done differently is, someone's following me, turn around and say, why the fuck are you following me? Or there's tons of people walking by, grab one of them and say, hey, I think this guy's following me. Can you walk with me to my car? Or can you wait with me? Any of those things. Turn around and look at him. But instead, I'm worried what this psycho thinks of me. So I don't do anything. I'm trying to be polite. I pretend to look at my phone. I don't have my hands ready. I take my eyes off the target. That was my very first mistake. Don't ever take your eyes off of someone who's making you uncomfortable. Don't ever make excuses for anybody that you don't know or that you do know. If someone's making you uncomfortable, worry about why later when you're safe, but not when you're out. Because I turned around and I was like, this guy's creepy, there's something wrong with him. But I made excuses. It's the middle of the day, what's he gonna do? Crazy people do crazy shit, okay? Like, they don't think like normal people. So don't allow the fact that it's the middle of the day, that you're in a place that you know that there's people around, make you think that you're safe. Anything bad can happen anywhere, and you should be prepared for it, is what I'm gonna say. Going back to the intuition thing, trust your intuition. And a lot of us, we can't go home and practice fighting all the time. Maybe you're not gonna come back to another seminar, maybe you're not doing a membership, but practice your intuition and practice setting your boundaries every single day. You can do it all the time. If someone's making you uncomfortable, make that very clear. Set your boundaries. If people are being weird, let them know. You're not gonna do that. This guy is still out there, so I would say that I very much feel that I was an opportunistic attack. I probably was just the first smaller person that walked by, thought I was distracted. So I think he's gonna go out and try to complete a rape or do something worse. And I don't want any of that to happen to y'all. I don't want this to happen to anybody ever. So the way I look at it is, I wanna be the last person who gets attacked. I wanna scare the shit out of this person. I wanna use deadly force. So if I get attacked again, my goal is to kill that person. Like, this is not gonna happen again. So that might seem a little extreme, but it can happen, it will happen. So please trust yourself. That's all I can say. Practice it all the time. And then what else do I want to think about? So as far as like post-attack, kind of what I'm doing now, so you'll notice I have these spikes on my fingers. So I wanted something that was really simple. While I'm running, if somebody throws me to the ground, the fight was so messy and it's so scary and there's so much fear in your body, like you're not gonna react the way that you think you will. So I have these finger knives basically, and I'm gonna pass them around. They're super sharp, but I wear them on my fingers, and in an attack I can scrape, punch, gouge, and that's super easy. I don't have to pull it out of my bag. I wear these almost all the time in grocery stores, parking lots, wherever. So I'm gonna put one over here, and I would just touch the tip with your finger.
These are called, I know there's a name for,
The brand is Go Guarded if you want to buy them. I call them finger knives lovingly. I also run with live mace, so my finger is on the trigger all the time. And that straps on, so I'll pass that around as well. I also have an alarm. Oh! Yeah, it's like a hearing loss, so that's really loud. So I have that as well. It clips on, so I run with that or I walk around with it.
And where did you get these things?
So the mace and the alarm I got on Amazon, the Go Guarded, you just have to look that up. Now I'm not saying that, I don't want y'all to go out and get weapons and think you don't have to be careful anymore. When I'm running and I see someone creepy, I'm practicing my intuition. I have my hand on the trigger of the mace. I have my finger on the alarm. If someone's weird enough, I I will set off the alarm just to fucking creep him out. Like, I want people to look at me and be like, oh my god, she's decked out in so many weapons. Like, what the hell does this girl have? I don't care. I'm super obvious
Well, what if
about...
you look stupid when you do that?
I don't give a shit about looking
That's
stupid,
right, I
y'all.
don't give a shit.
I got thrown on the ground and had some dude touch me. Like, no. You do not care about be a bitch, okay? Make a scene. Be fucking crazy, okay? That's all I can say. Be crazy, be rude, do whatever you have to do. When I'm running, I make sure that someone completely passes me. I've had people look at me and be like, why is this girl watching me? It doesn't matter. I'm watching you. I got my eye on you. I don't care what people think. It doesn't matter. And then post-attack, I would say that I have a lot of like hyper-vigilance, so I'm watching probably a little bit more than an average person. But what I've noticed is like the other day I was in Home Depot and this guy beelines over to my side of the store, and I'm in a corner of the store where you can't really see anything. And I'm looking at bug spray, and he comes up directly behind me, and I'm like, there's no way you're over here just casually looking at things. I have my little knives on, I immediately turn around, and I'm just staring at him. I'm like, I let you know that I see you, and I'm ready to fight. Like, and he immediately got so uncomfortable, turned around, left, walked directly out of the store. And so it's like, maybe he was a normal person, but I'm not gonna worry about that. You made me uncomfortable, so I'm gonna get ready to fight. Like, that's what you need to think. Do not make excuses for anybody, ever. That's all I can tell you. Seriously, do not make excuses. Don't be polite, don't be nice. It's nice to have other items on you. Have a safety plan, so, you know, if someone is creepy, what are you gonna do? Get ready, practice it over and over again. That's all I can say.
Awesome. Here, Brett. Open it for some questions, but this, what we refer to as that whole intuition zone. How long would you say that was between the moment that did you sense anything before you saw him, or when you saw him it was like, wah, I mean, what exactly were your feelings, and how did you use the phrase, I was being nice, what exactly were you thinking? What was going on?
So, I can't remember on the actual day if I had seen him and he passed me and then I realized he was behind me, or if he was just behind me, but you get that, everyone's had that prickly feeling where you're like, someone's behind me, this is weird. And so I
Did you get that before you actually saw him?
I think so. Because when you have someone just walking too close. And then the other thing that I would say is everyone out there was wearing like athletic clothing, and he was wearing normal, regular clothing, like jeans and a hoodie. And not that that's super unusual, but if everyone's wearing athletic wear because you're out walking around or running, it does stand out. And I do think that's one of the reasons why I was like, this is a little weird. Like, you're not out on a walk or on a jog. Like, this is a little strange. And then witnesses, the police told me later on when I went and did some photo IDs and things like that, two different witnesses said that they saw him. One group of people said they saw him so close behind me that they thought we were together. And then someone else said that the look on his face, they thought that he was angry with me. And I almost want to be like, why didn't anyone stop and do anything? But people, I'm not to be like, I don't have any faith in other people, but no one stopped to help me. So I'm going to say, like, don't expect anyone to help you. Being around other people does not necessarily mean that you're going to be safe. So, and then as far as being nice, I only looked over my shoulder once, and then I didn't keep checking, how close is he behind me? Because when I first checked, he was probably only 3 feet behind me. But then other people report saying he was so close behind me that they thought we were together, so we probably got even closer, and I didn't see that. And then I'm still trying to be nice, looking at my phone rather than watching him to see, has he passed me yet? And that's how he managed to close the distance, get really up close. My phone is in my hand, so I'm not ready to do an arm belt or do any of those other things. And the next thing you know, you're on the ground. And the wind's knocked out of you, and you're just, it's so, I can't explain to you the fear and being so confused and trying to just, it's like my brain couldn't catch up with what's going on. Because you think, this is overtly dangerous behavior, like why aren't you responding? But in the moment, you're still not catching up with it. So it's gonna take a little bit of time to get that on switch. That's why I want you to practice that.
What she said is, now, it seems very bizarre to say, to think, wait a second, you knew something was going on before you even saw him? This is how intuition works. Oprah Winfrey has there's a guy, I think his name is Gavin DeBecker, and he wrote a book called The Gift of Fear. And you really should Google, get on YouTube and write The Gift of Fear. And they have some like animated shorts where you could basically get the gist of the whole book. They actually have the entire book on YouTube in audio format. You can just listen to a great read. But the main thing that he says is this idea of intuition, being able to go from A to B without any actual evidence that you know of. Now you think, did she really sense this in the universe? Probably not. It probably was her subconscious picking up, footsteps very, very close to her. Even breathing, unique kind of scenarios that are kind of going on, but your body picks these things up. This is innate. This is in nature that you have this intuition, especially women. You have this, and so, terrible situation. And I love the fact that she's just bravely and boldly looking at her own situation and saying, and getting the hindsight to say, you know what, this is what should have happened. So once again, actually, I don't think I quite still got the answer. How long was that between the moment that prickly feeling that you had and the actual attack? How long do you think that was?
Probably only like a minute and a half. So it wasn't that long. It's very quick.
But on the other hand, you could say a minute and a half is like almost forever in the sense of this, like in the entire event. It's like actually went on longer than the actual attack.
It did. And then the other thing too, I still run there. So I run right past where I was attacked 5 days a week because first of all, this is my fucking town and like you don't get to tell me where I run.
Oh, yeah.
But also, so it's like running past it, it's like, of course you have to think about it because it's like, I literally was thrown on the ground right there. That's where I was walking. And it is, I'm like, why did it take me so long to decide to stop over here and then wait for him to, and you could look at it and say, he might have been trying to follow me in my car or to a more secluded area of the sidewalk because it does go off into a greenway. And so it could have been worse and I might have messed up his plan. You never know, but it shouldn't have gotten to that point anyway.
And how close were the closest people? Now, and especially during the attack, were there people that heard this going on or even saw it?
So that's the weird. So there were plenty of cars driving by while the attack was happening, and that's only about 10 feet away. And this is like a ground fight, and we're right on. There's the sidewalk, there's the road, and there's this middle part between the school and the sidewalk. So I don't know how people didn't see any of that. And then I would say that the nearest people were maybe 20 feet away.
20 feet away.
That's crazy.
And it's like I'm yelling and
20 feet away, so like at the window.
Yeah.
And seeing this go on.
Yeah. So nothing
And obviously you were
yeah.
making a lot of noise.
So I was screaming, like, what the fuck are you doing? And I was doing it like in a very angry. It wasn't, like a no, please stop, no. But it doesn't matter. It's just you can't. The other thing I want to say is that most people are really focused on themselves when they're walking around. So a lot of people are not surveying the area. If you haven't been attacked before, that's not something that you're normally going to do walking around like expecting to be attacked. Stop looking at your phones. Like, please pay attention to what's going on. When you are outside walking around, you need to be paying attention because there's so much going on that you're not going to see unless you've been attacked before or you've been trained to look around. Because now that I've been attacked, I see a lot more sketchy stuff where I'm like, that's weird. And I'm out there, not only watching for myself, but for other people. So if there is an attack happening 20 feet away from me, what can I do to help? How can I get over there? Do I need to call somebody? And it's just, it's amazing to me that families are walking by with children or, there's literally kids 2 feet away and I get thrown to the ground and attacked. And it's just like, you can't expect other people being around to keep you safe. So please watch everything. Please pay attention. Lock your car as soon as you get in. I know we get into our cars and we're like getting our playlist set up, we're looking at a text message. No, get in your car, immediately lock it. Just one of those safety practices that you would do. Always be locking your door, always pay attention. I mean, we're all women, we've all heard this stuff our whole lives. one of the most frustrating things is after this kind of thing happens to you, I have a lot of people telling me, go get a gun, or you should have paid attention, you should be running with somebody, why don't you run with a gun, you should run with a taser, just bullshit stuff. If you are gonna have weapons with you, they need to be ready to use, and you need to have a safety plan in place. It doesn't help you if it's in your purse, doesn't help you if it's off, it's not charged, not helpful. Be ready to use them, and be incredibly obvious with people. So I have sketchy people all the time around, and I make it very clear I will mace you right now. It's not about being polite, don't be nice, cause a scene. I wish I had caused a scene on that day. I wish I had turned around in front of all those people and said, why the fuck are you following me? Because let me tell you, this little bastard here, creepy dork, okay? Like, he's scrawny. Like, he was not, you know, some big, hulky, scary dude. He was a horrible fighter. Like, he could have, you know, the standing right here, he could have just nailed me in the face. Grabbed my hair while he was following me. Didn't do any of that, just a shove to the ground.
Did you get a good look at him? I mean, yeah.
I did, but then on top of it, it's like you get a good look at somebody, but it's a 45-second interaction. And then I go to the police and I have to look at hundreds of photos of people who look exactly like this person. It's just some regular white dude, like everybody looks the same. So after a while, it's really hard to, I'm really lucky that I have pictures. The only bad thing about the pictures is people are overly confident that we're gonna find this guy. We haven't found him. They thought he was local, you know, we all thought we were gonna find him the next day, 2 days after. It's been a month and a half. What we're doing now with the police is they can do data access, where basically we partner with Google, and Google will tell us everyone who had a phone in that area on that day. They use my phone, they ping who was near me, and it'll bring up a whole list of names. That's kind of our last option. But past that point, you know, there's not really much else we can do. And I think about it, you know, here's another moment where I'm like, I wish I'd done this differently. He has his hand over my mouth. Why didn't I just bite the fuck out of his hand? We could have had some blood, you know, left some scars, some injuries, all kinds of things I wish I had done differently. And that stuff tortures me. Like, as much as I'm full of rage and hate towards this awful person, I was so angry with myself because I was like, I know I can fuck somebody up, and I didn't. I was just this weak, like, scared person who was on the ground, and I'm like, I can't believe this happened to me in my town in the middle of the day, and there's someone walking right there, you know? And so I don't want any of you to have to go through that, where you have to go home and think to yourself, these are all the things I should have done differently. And it's horrible, it's awful, the worst feeling ever. And now I have intense stranger danger. So like talking about people coming up to you, I'm running at Lake Pine and there's a cop car there, and this woman just walks right up to me and is asking me why there's a cop car. And I immediately have my hands out. I'm like, I don't know you. I don't know you. You know, it doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man. I don't know what you are, what you want. You need to leave me alone, basically. That's where I'm at. So be rude, be a bitch, cause a scene. Over and over again. Anytime it makes you feel uncomfortable and you're like, I really don't want to do this, please do it for me. Do it as a favor for Lex. Please, think about me. Just think, maybe I don't want to do it for myself, but think, you know, this girl asking, you know, I am personally asking every single one of you to please be a bigger bitch, cause a scene, you know, set boundaries wherever you are. And you have intuition, I would say use it all the time. You know, I'm a waitress and I have creepy tables and I immediately shut that crap down. You know, you can practice this all the time. Maybe the fighting and the little, you know, like I practice the armband with my mom. Like I'm like, come at me, you know, and we practice it every now and then. But, you know, if you don't practice it, you're gonna lose it, or you're gonna get overly confident and think, oh, I took one class and I'm good, I've got it. And it's like, no, you gotta think about this on a regular basis. And I walk around thinking, if I was gonna attack me, how would I do it? Where would I hide? Where would I go? Kind of deal. So try and get in the head of the other person who. And then the other thing that I want to talk about, being a psych major, people who've been attacked have a higher chance of being attacked again. And the reasoning behind this is they think that people who've been attacked kind of walk in a sort of defeated, sad way. So even if you don't think that you're strong, even if you don't think that you're a badass, I need you to walk like you are one. Walk around like you could fuck shit up. Just fake it, completely fake it. And that might even help you. So whatever you can do.
Absolutely. You know, isn't that true in nature? You see that little animal faking it. You know that animal is full of fear and scared that it's going to get eaten, but yet it becomes the aggressor, driving up to, you know, towards the lion or towards what. All right, so the last point, I just love what she said when she, you talk about reacting how you think you should act. Because probably what that is that all of us have a mental like, oh, this is what I should do if I were in that situation. Although we probably would have to admit, many of us have not actually even thought about it prior to today, like actually a plan, like what would I do in this situation, much less have we trained it. And that's really the key thing, is like doing something to train these kind of scenarios into your, even if it was just the armband, arm stop, yeah. In other words, just there's that, I turn around, this person's 3 feet away from me, bam, that the arm stop comes up, and and I make space, and kind of like that Massachusetts jogger. But getting all of these things in here. So, but even if you took all that, and like we said, is a little bit of information dangerous? No. If you just took the information, the impartation that just came from here, be a bitch, fight back with everything that you've got. That itself would be enough to take away with. Anyway, all right, let's take 2 minutes. Give Lex a big hug. Grab some water. Go to the restroom if you need to, and then we're gonna go over a couple of techniques real fast. Thank you so much.